You will need to safely raise and support the vehicle to change the oil. For additional assistance with that task, please follow the link provided at the end of this video. Once the car is in the air, remove the under trays. There are 4 T25 Torx screws, red arrows, on each side holding the tray on. Remove them and slide the tray back out of the friction clips, yellow arrows on the front air dam. There is a 19mm drain plug on the center rear of the oil pan as indicated by the red arrow. Use a 19mm wrench or socket and remove the nut. The threads are approximately an inch in length, so be prepared as you're unthreading it. Drain all of the warm oil from the pan, red arrow. Don't forget the oil stream will change its flow as the oil drains, so don't leave it unattended. You can open the oil fill cap, red arrow, on the top of the engine to break the vacuum and assist in draining the oil. You will need to purchase a new drain plug as they do not sell the washer separately. I like to install the new plug before I move onto the filter so I don't forget it later. The oil filter and housing, yellow arrow, are located on the front of the motor. There is a screw-off cap, red arrow, that gives you access to drain the oil out of the housing before you remove it. The filter sits inside the housing and the housing will be full of oil even after draining the pan. You do not need the special tool to drain the housing. You can use a Torx driver or something similar to lift the valve in the bottom of the housing, red arrow. You do not need to perform this step. If you do not want to, you can just unscrew the housing. Either way, it's going to be messy. Use an oil filter removal socket, which is 36mm, and remove the oil filter housing, red arrow. Remove the old filter from the housing, red arrow, by simply pulling it up and out. Inspect it for any metal or debris. Dispose of this according to the regulations in your area. Remove the old O-ring, red arrow, this one happens to be green. Insert the new O-ring, yellow arrow, and slide the new filter, red arrow, into the filter housing. Insert the housing with the new filter and gasket into the base and torque to spec. Do not over-tighten the housing. Move to the top of the engine and remove the oil fill cap in the engine cover if you haven't done so already, red arrow. Begin by pouring 4 liters of oil into the engine and giving it a minute to get to the pan. The engine should take 4.6 liters of oil, but it is easier to add oil than try and drain some out if you overfill. Start the car and let it warm up. Stop the car, let it sit for at least 3 minutes and check the level. Add as needed, but do not overfill. Note, on the turbo engines, after an oil change, only run the engine at idle until the oil pressure warning light stops flashing. Do not touch the accelerator, as revving the engine before proper oil pressure is restored could damage or destroy the turbo. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and check out another video in this series.